today I'm going to be talking about imposter syndrome and how you can use it as your superpower or let it be the demon that you fight until your deathbed. So who am I? My name is Thembinkosi Mahlangu, also known as TK, also known as Issue / Injaga Koko, Brav, Lodge, ladies love abs, I choose. The list goes on. So I'm quickly going to take you through my journey. My journey started in 2012 when I moved to the Eastern Cape to study a national diploma in accounting. So my love for numbers, I soon discovered that my love for numbers was based on the narrative of security and what you needed to do instead of what you actually wanted to do. So the conflict really came quite quickly when I realized this and that my personality was clashing with what I was trying to study at the time. My true love was actually sports. I enjoyed sports from a young age. I think in school it was amazing because I made it to SA champs for literally every sports that I did. I think cross country, athletics, I was a high jumper, jumped at 211 in grade 11, which was really wild. Yeah, so then I realized quickly that I'm totally in the wrong place. So 3 years down the line of studying this national diploma, I fell into depression, things weren't working out, I started flunking at school, and then I was lucky to be sent to a counselor. So at the school at the time, I was a house prim of my res, so they thought that the issues that we were dealing with students was the one that was causing the stress and the depression. So they organized me a counselor, went there, yeah, and that was liberating. That was the first time I actually found out about what imposter syndrome was. So she diagnosed me having imposter syndrome, and she gave me a couple of tips of how I could get over it. And I'm here today to at least share maybe 1 or 2 methods in which you can try fight your imposter syndrome if you do have it. But she was totally against me quitting school. She was like, no, you can just finish it, just do it. It's just 1 more year. But hey, she had unleashed the beast. It was her fault, not mine. So I quickly left school and then started on my journey. I started as a personal trainer in 2014, yeah. So I started in 2014, got my personal trainer certificate and started training people on the side. My daily hustle was working for sales. First worked for the Guest store, then I worked for Lint, and then I worked for Planet Fitness, then I worked for Virgin Active. I think I've probably been through 9 jobs thanks to imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? What is imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and thinking that you are a fraud. In the beginning, when they were coining imposter syndrome, they said it was for high-achieving people. But then they actually realized from a study that was done in 2019 with 62 studies of imposter syndrome that close to 82% of people suffer from imposter syndrome or have felt these kind of doubt feelings. So there was this lady, when I was researching, I watched called Lois Solomons, and she talks about imposter syndrome as well in her TED Talk, and she mentions it's like having this nasty best friend that is always there right next to you chirping. So it keeps telling you that you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't belong here. A lot of celebrities, in fact, legends have suffered from imposter syndrome. You take Lady Gaga for one, you wouldn't expect such an icon and such a trendsetter to have had and still has imposter syndrome. Michelle Obama and Tom Hanks. So what I did, I've separated, just like in every movie, we need to find out about the villains and then the superheroes so that we can all decide which side of the story or which side are we on. So the villains, surprisingly not, are the Looney Tunes. Why, you may ask, the Looney Tunes? Because the Looney Tunes are friendly, they're cute, and it's a feedback loop of hell because they do the same thing over and over and over again. And just like the Looney Tunes, you find it really hard to actually hate them. You can't hate the Looney Tunes. And it's just like yourself. You find yourself asking yourself questions like, why would I do this to myself? Why would I be against every little aspect of my life? So then I decided to have some pillars for imposter syndrome. So I decided to choose a character, and then I've tied in the pillar that I want to talk about in imposter syndrome with that character. So first we got the Tasmanian Devil. So this is the anxiety that you feel during when you have imposter syndrome. So this is like what you feel like 90% of the time, whether you have a small task to do, a big task to do, a long deadline or a short deadline. And as you know, Tasmanian Devil makes a racket. Everywhere he goes, he spins around and just gives you anxiety just looking at him and looking at what he does. And then I've also, I've decided to pair perfectionism with Bugs Bunny. So Bugs Bunny is the slick Rick of the crew. So he waits around until everything is settled down and you think you are through the storm. And then he comes through and says, "What's up, doc?" And reminds you of that one sentence that you said you were going to fix on your assignment that you're supposed to hand in the morning. Now you're up at 3 a.m. rewriting the whole thing. And then the last one we have is Tweety. And Tweety represents the fear of failure. Just like in the cartoons, Tweety is always trying to survive Sylvester. She's always fearful that he's going to try eat him, and she's always trying to make a way to try to survive. And this fear of failure feeling happens a lot with imposter syndrome, whether it's making noodles, where you're sitting making noodles and it just passed 3 minutes and then you're asking yourself, do I even know how to make noodles? So who do we want? There's the plot twist. So we want the Joker. We want the Joker because we know very well the Joker says this one phrase that says, "Why are you so serious?" Which gives you, which reminds us that in life we need to be constantly happy regardless of what we are going through. So I'm gonna take you through a story where me and the Joker had a little altercation. So it happened in 2020 when I won the competition to be the face of Biogen, and I was on the Men's Health magazine. And then I kept on getting feelings of, did I really deserve it? Or did I fluke this? Was this another lucky try, or was I really sexy? And he convinced me that it was total fluke and that the system was wrong since the other people's votes were so low. And he kept on asking me why I was so serious. And I took this and I used it as my superpower. I started, just lost my train of thought, sorry about that. So I told him, my best friend, the Joker, that he actually took the picture. Since it's so nasty, it's probably his fault and not mine. And that was the beginning of my, that was me trying to liberate myself. So how you guys can help yourself or help yourself to overcome imposter syndrome is by having this young quote here says, "Aspire to inspire before you expire." So this, you need to use your imposter syndrome as a cure. You need to speak out and compliment people. I always tell people that I'm the biggest clapper. Because of this, I am able to fight my imposter syndrome, and I'm able to open my receiving box and be able to receive compliments instead of receiving a compliment and quickly trying to find a comeback of what other compliment I can give back, or just to say thank you. So now you open your receiving box to be able to receive these things. So what does it do? You being able to start talking to people and motivating them actually helps you transform your imposter syndrome to make it a cure. So you become the healing voice to people that are going through imposter syndrome through your identification of going through imposter syndrome, and you are the cure. So this fight here doesn't stop. This fight here is constant, and you need to decide whether you team up with the Joker, which everyone thinks is bad, but is the greatest thing to ever happen, or you join the Looney Tunes and then you fight them forever, because we all know that the Looney Tunes don't die. So you're going to be on your way really quickly, and it's really sad to live your life the Looney Tune way, because it's the same thing over and over again. And no one wants to be in a feedback loop of hell. So I'd like to leave you with a little quote here. I came up with this one. So it says that the voice inside you doesn't have to destroy you unless you let it. So what I'm saying with that is that use your imposter syndrome to be a weapon to be able to heal other people, whether you're healing them from depression or you're healing them from their imposter syndrome, but be the voice that actually saves this world. Thank you.